Welcome back again for another segment of questions that are just random questions. This one is not technically random as the last video is. This one is about religion only. So, basically answering questions that I thought would be very good that I haven't already answered, which is very hard to do considering how many questions I have asked in the past. And please do feel free, if you see any of my questions on here and you want to answer them, by all means, go for it and answer it. You don't have to do it in a video or in a blog or whatever, but you can answer these questions for yourself as well. You don't need everyone else to do it for you. Alright, so let's get started. This one is basically about religion, as I said. Number 1, what religion do I practice? Wicca/paganism. As I mentioned before, those are the two titles I go by. Now, as to whether or not anyone else does, no, not everybody does, so that's my preference. Number 2, the frequency and types of prayer. I pray. I have a little book here called A Book of Pagan Prayer. As you can see, I marked it so that I knew which page to go to if I needed a certain thing or a certain prayer. I do believe in prayer. Now, as to whether or not that's Christian form, I'm not entirely sure. But at the same time, this is what my gods want me to do, and I have no qualms with doing whatever they want me to do. Alright, so number 3, how often do I worship? I don't. I do once in a while, but it doesn't feel right to me to do that, and so I am of the frame of mind again that my gods do not want me to. Or maybe they're just waiting for me to do it at a certain time. Who knows? Next one is number 4. What do you believe is the best lesson? I assume they mean lesson in life. I don't really have any of those besides the fact that my gods teach me to be realistic about life and to not lay down and just cry if something doesn't go my way. They believe in hard work. They have me believe in things that other Christians wouldn't be able to do, like the Christian God wants them to pray every time they commit a sin to ask for forgiveness. My gods do not require that. They require that I take responsibility for what I have done and go accordingly. They don't ask me to pray to them and pray for forgiveness to get into this mythical type place called heaven. No, they're not into that. Alright, so next one is number 5. What do I disagree with? I do not disagree with anything in my Wiccan path or paganism path. I do, however, agree with the Christian path. I think the Christian path is not for me. Now, as to whether or not it's for anyone else, that could very well be, but for me, it's not. Next one is number 6. What is one thing that affects your daily life and family life? My magic. Most of my family is Christian. They do not believe in magic. They think it's evil. They think that I worship the devil sometimes. As a video I posted, I think it was yesterday. No, the day before yesterday. That this guy basically bitched me out because I was Wiccan. He said that I was a Satanist. He said that I followed Satan because I did not follow Jesus. Now, some people have that point of view, and by all means, have it. I don't give a crap. But don't freaking push it down my throat when I tell you that I do not believe in the devil. I mean that. It's not because he's not supposedly real. I just don't believe in him. He's not somebody I worship. He's not somebody that's real to me. Next one is number 7. What does your faith teach about the truth of God or ultimate reality? Nothing that I know of. The truth of God, as some put it, would be a Christian form of thing, so I'm not into that, and it's also Catholic. Um, the ultimate reality, I guess, could be Wiccan or pagan. Um, any reality that we see or that we live in could be considered ultimate reality. Like where we are now, where I'm sitting, is reality. Now, as to whether or not that's ultimate reality, well, that remains to be seen, because you will eventually die at some point in your life. Alright, so number 8, what does your faith teach about the nature of the world? It teaches that nature is powerful, that nature is sacred, that you should protect it, that without it, we would not be here. And even science has backed this up. Without nature, without plants, there would be no oxygen. So, that right there tells you that we need to protect it, because if it all dies off, we're screwed because we breathe oxygen. So, next one is number 9. What is the rule of magic in Wicca? To essentially get what you want. Now, some people use that for personal gain, like for what they really want. Some of us use it for things that we absolutely have to have, like need, or when we're trying to calm ourselves down, or if we're trying to help somebody. That's the only time that we use spells for that. Some other people don't. They use it for other things as well. There is such thing as black and white, but we'll get to that in a minute. Alright, number 10. How has Wicca changed from when I began? Well, when I began, there was no internet for it. I mean, there was internet. I mean, I'm only a 90s baby. But at the time, there wasn't anything on the internet for us. I relied solely on my mother, who at the time was Wiccan. She had a coven, but that didn't last very long, and that kind of put me for a loop, because I didn't have anybody. I didn't have these resources that all these kids are growing up in now. I have it now, but it would have been nice to have it back then as well. Number 11. How do I remain upbeat about hateful intolerance? You would have to remain upbeat on that, because to not to be would go against what you believe in, especially if you're Wiccan, or if you follow the Reed, or the certain thing that says harm none but do as you will. That includes yourself and others, mentally, physical, whatever. To not remain upbeat could lead to you hurting somebody, which is not necessarily a bad thing in my case. As I told you earlier, the last time, I am of the warrior state of mind sometimes. I believe it is okay for me to stick up for myself. I believe it is okay for me to get into a fight if somebody decides to hurt me. But on the same coin, I do not believe it is right for you to just randomly target somebody because of what they have said. No, I believe that in order for that to happen, they have to be physical first. Alright, so number 12, is Gerald B. Gardner their prophet? I'm assuming they mean the Gardner point of view of Wicca. I wouldn't exactly say prophet, I would say teacher. Prophet is something that Christians use, but he could very well be something like that. However, from my point of view, he was just a man that decided he didn't want to hide who he was or what he was anymore, and started writing books and made his own path, and basically opened up a whole different world for people, made things so much easier for the rest of us. And Scott Cunningham did the same thing. He made things so much easier for all of us, because those two men were the first two people to start writing books about what we believed in. Up until that point, we'd all been in hiding. And I'm quite happy that they chose to write, because without those books, I would still be Christian. I would be Christian right now because I wouldn't have been able to find anything, and I would have believed whatever anyone told me about it, because I have been told it's a devil worshipping thing. And I know it's not true because I have stuff to back that up. But if he and Scott Cunningham had not written anything, I would not have known that. Alright, number 13. How do Wiccans view blasphemy to their gods? There is no blasphemy to their gods. We're not Christians, guys. Our gods expect us to question them. It's kind of common sense. We're humans. We're not just going to sit back and let some god take the freaking forefront all the time and expect us to do everything. No, they expect us to question them. If we don't agree with something, they don't expect us to do it. So there is no blasphemy. We're not Christians. We don't have to worry about that. Number 14. Is it possible to be Wiccan and another religion at the same time? It is. I know several people who are Christian/Wiccan. Or like me, I am Egyptian, Celtic, Norse. I'm also I also have a little bit of German mixed in, as well as Greek and Roman. So, that's the great thing about what we are. We are able to take whatever path we want and make it into something of our own. And that is perfectly fine, because that is what we're allowed to do. That's what we should do. It's okay for us because it makes sense to us. Alright, so next one is number 15. Is Wicca a real religion? Yeah. Yes. So is paganism. But there's also the umbrella term called paganism. Do not get those confused. There's paganism, which is its own path altogether. But then you got the other one that is an umbrella term that has all the other paths right underneath it. That is what I'm under. I'm under the paganism umbrella term, under Wiccan, with those paths. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that's what other people believe, but that's what I believe. Number 16. Is it best to make a book of shadows? It is, because you want to put your energy into that book. That book represents you. If it does not have your energy, it's not yours. Number 17. What type of magic do I do? It says black and white after that, but I don't believe in that. I don't believe in just black and white. I believe everything is balanced. So, because I say that, I have black and white inside me already. I'm good. But it's how you wish to use it. If somebody wants to hurt somebody, they would be automatically marked as a black witch because of what they have done with their magic. Not because they grew up that way or because that's how they affiliate themselves. It's all about your choices. However, I do believe that in nature, it's all about balance. So, if the balance is not there, our world wouldn't be very well either. By balance, I mean balance as in right and wrong, love and hate, pleasure and pain, and yin and yang. There we go. Men and women. There. That should about sum it up. That is balance. Without it, we'd be screwed. There's no way around it. Alright, so next one is number 18. What books are most useful? Again, Scott Cunningham books are useful, as well as Silverwolf, excuse me. I don't know why I just said moon. Gerald B. Gardner is good as well as a few other things that I don't have names for at the moment because I don't have any of the books with me. But any book that tells you to conform to a certain path is not the right book, because the books that are useful are the ones that tell you that it's okay to be different. It's okay to choose a different path. It's okay to merge paths and all that. If you find a book that tells you not to do that, it's not the right one, and it's not Wiccan at all, regardless of what the title tells you. However, that is solely my opinion. Do not take me on my word, because that is my opinion. Next is number 19. Do spells really work? Do they all require herbs and candles? Spells really do work. They don't require those things. It's best if you do, especially if you're new. It helps you channel the magic that you need to channel into what you're trying to do. But other than that, you don't really need it. It is possible for it to backfire, however, so put a clause in there somewhere, especially if it's written in words. Put a clause in there somewhere that it cannot backfire onto you or onto other people, because a backfire will hurt somebody. Number 20. Are you kind to everyone, and what limit does not harming someone go to? I try to be kind to everybody, but I have anger issues. I am not perfect, as I tell people. Not perfect at all. And sometimes I just don't want to be nice. And that's okay for me, because I'm allowed to do that. My limit, however, is very simple. You make fun of me, you make fun of what I believe in, you call me a Satan worshiper, you make fun of any kids I have, you make fun of my niece or nephew, you make fun of my family, and it's basically fair game. I will retaliate. Now, as to whether or not that is physical or by words, it could be one or the other, depending on what you've done. So, that is what I believe in. That's how I handle my problems. Other than that, I do try to be nice to everybody, because I realize that nobody's perfect, and sometimes things happen. But that person has to be willing to apologize too, because if they're not going to be willing to apologize, then I think that they did it on purpose. And that is when I go into my warrior type stage here, of where I decide that whether or not I should do anything. Now, it's not exactly the way everyone else does, but that's the way I do it. So that is done with my questions. It is now almost 19 minutes in. And I will try and upload all these videos either today or tomorrow. This one might be going up tomorrow. Or, yeah, whatever. So please subscribe. Please tell me what you think. If you have any questions or anything of the sort, please let me know, and I will get back to answering it as soon as I can. And I will try to find something else to make a video out of. So, blessed be, love and light, and I will see you guys next time.